Faith is often misunderstood. For many, they've used it as a band-aid to deal with personal and emotional problems. Although it is a wonderful option for many of our problems, it is not the exclusive answer to all of our problems. Join mentor, licensed therapist, and coach Sandy for an experience that will transform your life mentally, emotionally, and physically. Join us for Not Your Mama's Spirituality with therapist Sandy Durham.
Everyone, yes, thank you. Welcome back to Not Your Mama's Spirituality. Thank you so much for joining where you are at, whenever you're watching this. So appreciative to have you in this space. And hey, if you tuned in last week, you're in for a treat because this is part 2 with my favorite chiropractic team, Dr. Sanders and Dr. Rose. We're actually going to get a little hands-on to show you really and truly what's going on with the spine, with the body, to show you literally how you can get in alignment. So welcome back, our special guest. Hey, guys.
Thank you. What's up?
Yeah, thank you for coming back for part 2. Awesome. So what we're about to do here, I know we see, body parts right here on the table. I'm actually going to replace this, but definitely wanted the docs to kind of open up this part of the dialogue and let us know kind of what they'll be doing, anything that's important for us to know as far as the adjustment piece. And I'm not going to say too much. So I'm going to shift the floor to Dr. Rose. You have your mic ready? Go ahead, girl.
I'm ready. Okay.
Before she starts, I think it's important for people to understand like the foundation of what chiropractic is. I think some of the misconceptions, like you were just asking, she asked earlier before we started taping, like what exactly are you doing when you do an adjustment, right? I think a lot of people who even have gone to a chiropractor, they may go and they don't even know exactly why they're going, right? So one thing that we really pride ourselves in at 100% Chiropractic here in Jacksonville is we really take pride in educating people, right, of the why, right? If you understand why, right, or what's going on with your body, and you understand how the anatomy is supposed to be, then it makes it really easy to understand like what we're doing, through an adjustment and why we're doing it. Okay, so I'll let Doc take it from here.
Awesome. Very good.
That was it. We can wrap it up. So we always start with, like, again, educating on the anatomy, because that's something that a lot of people have no idea, like this under the surface. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And I tell people the same thing if they come to me for neck pain, back pain, pregnancy. It's all about brain to body communication, right? Our nervous system, when we hear that, we have to think or start thinking brain, spine, nerves, and then muscles, cells, tissues, organs, right? That is how our body works. Right. It's this pathway. If you want to think of a safety pin, right? We are this circuit, and there's an opening in that circuit. Not that you're broken or not that things aren't working, but they're not working as best as they could. And we're all about optimizing health and optimizing that function, right? Whether it's a neck issue, I can go like deep into anatomy. I won't do that. But a lot of people who come to us with neck pain also have underlying headaches or immune system issues, or anxiety, depression is a thing for them. Of course, your muscle tension. And so you can pick various regions of your spine. It's pretty incredible. You asked about spirituality, right? God made this map of a body, and just there are people who have learned it, and we're one of those people. And if you understand how things are connected, right, then you can, again, like he said, we don't heal you. Your body does that, but we do free up the body to allow it to work the right way. So
absolutely, yeah. And I would just say, just on a personal standpoint, just to give people a real life example. So when I came to the doctors, definitely back tension in the back, neck area, and definitely, through seasons of my life, I've navigated anxiety and symptoms of depression, and certain things will surface back up, when life gets a little heavy. So that was some of the information that I provided initially coming into, the practice, and with them helping me set up treatment. So with that, if someone's coming in, I would say just with the seemingly mental health concerns, what are different things that, you all would look for if they're saying they're coming in with that?
Will you rephrase that question?
So if they're saying, I have stress and I have, anxiety, symptoms of depression, I feel, tension? Well, just like me, tension in my back and my body, what are different things that you all...
A lot of it goes back to the nervous system, right? So we're going to always put everything back into the body, all right? When we're really looking at it, and this is when we do what we call an empowerment session. That empowerment session is really geared towards answering questions like those, right? We go through different charts that show you, we have what we call a merit chart. We don't have it up here today, but it basically gives you an idea of different areas in your spine, from the top of your spine to the bottom of your spine, and what those correlating nerves control, right? So if it was something up in the top, say the neck, right, you're talking about things like allergies or depression, anxiety. You're talking about things like headaches or migraines, right? Numbness or tingling in the upper extremities. Or even if it was something in the low back, right? You're talking about low back pain or constipation, for infertility, menstruation issues. All right, just the list goes on, but these are just things that correlate with our nervous system, because our nervous system is essentially what controls everything in your body. So if your nervous system controls everything in your body, and your spine is what protects the nervous system, right? If something happens with the spine, guess what happens to the body, right? We start experiencing dysfunctions, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. That answered my question. It definitely answered my question when I first came in. Like, man, what's happening here? Because as someone who just simply meets with people to deal with mental health challenges externally, I'm not hands-on or adjusting or moving anything. It's awesome to know that you all have an explanation as to how there may be deeper things contributing to the distress on so many different levels. So that is amazing. So when would you guys like to adjust to me? How would you like to flow into that?
Let's do it.
We're going to do it? All right, guys. I'm going to put my mic down right here. I'm going to let the docs take it away.
Explain what adjustment is. So basically,
Glasses.
take your glasses.
Oh, my glasses. You want to explain that, love, or you want me to?
I'll let you. So before we actually adjust her, right, and we can do this because she's actually a patient, so we know her history already. All right. So usually what we do with a lot of patients that come in, first thing we do is take x-rays of them, okay? And the reason why we take x-rays is because we want to see what's going on inside the body, okay? We don't want to guess about anybody's health. Right, and usually the x-rays give us a really, keen idea of structurally what's going on with the spine itself. All right, so I'll let Doc sort of explain what a subluxation is and typically how we correct it and what the actual adjustment is doing in the body.
Okay. Yeah, so a subluxation, it's misalignment of the bones that can pinch on nerves and slowing down that brain and body communication, right? So our biggest concern is the nerves, and the reason because is the messages that our nerves carry, right? We all know that, like, there's a sensory component, right? That's pain, that's numbness, that's tingling. But there's also motor and autonomic or automatic components to our nervous system, and that's what we call the function, right? So motor is our muscle movement. So if you've ever experienced the Charlie horse or just weakness in the muscles. Autonomic are the way that our heartbeat, our digestion, the things that we don't have to think about or push buttons to get to work for us. A lot of you guys in the audience are drinking water, so the restroom is going to be calling a little bit, right? You don't have to tell your body to do that. It's just a natural thing. So when we have subluxations or interference, it's hindering those functions and that movement and, of course, the sensory, the pain. And so when he adjusts, he is feeling for muscle asymmetry. He's feeling for edema or bogginess that may indicate that a bone has moved out of alignment. And we're not talking about wrenching the spine, y'all. It's very slight misalignments that can literally wreak havoc on health, okay? So when he's touching and he's feeling, he's palpating, he's trying to feel like, is there good movement here, or is this joint restricted? And we're adjusting that area, freeing up that nerve, and allowing things to flow. So,
cool.
You can take them.
And at any point in time, y'all can always ask questions, right?
Right.
Does that answer your question? Okay. More specifically, typically when we're doing an adjustment, okay, all right, are you familiar with laying on a table and an adjustment?
But
Mm-hmm.
before you do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I never even got an X-ray, so that's
Ah.
I guess why I'm a little confused about it.
So there are some we do not touch people without X-rays.
Yeah.
But there are some chiros out there who do adjustments and not take X-rays at all, right? So usually what they would do is they would do like some type of examination, right? Orthopedic exams, things like that, and then they go based off of that. For us, yes, we do that, but then we add an extra component such as the X-rays because that gives us more so of an inside look, right? And especially when it comes to like certain legal aspects of it, it's better for us to have X-rays and to know what's going on than to not, because we obviously have licenses that we don't want to put at risk. So for us, it's always safer to have an X-ray, even if the X-ray is fine, right? So for a lot of chiros out there, I won't say a lot, but some of them, they're like, oh well, usually if I'm taking X-rays, the person is typically fine. That's great, right? But I'd rather take 100 X-rays and be prepared for the one that may be an issue than the 99 that's pretty much good.
That seems like it makes sense to me because you're like digging deeper to see
Exactly.
what the
Yeah.
problem is.
Exactly.
In
Right.
addition to the legal aspect of it too, we're a corrective care office, which means there's certain angles and curves that we should have in our spine. So looking at you straight on, there should be a straight spine, but from the side, you have different curves. And so those curves have been measured. There's an optimal curve, right? And why would we not want to give that to our patients if we know how to? So that's one of the things that we do.
So we're gonna adjust her. Then we're gonna take questions. Uh huh.
I know y'all talking about X-ray.
Yes, sir.
When the ones who don't do the X-ray, could that lead to bad adjustment?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
I'm gonna keep my mouth closed with that one. I wouldn't say a bad adjustment. I would say
Not an accurate adjustment,
yeah.
right? So it's not as accurate as it could be, right?
Yeah.
So it may be a good adjustment, but it may not be as accurate, right?
Yeah.
So if I know something is at L3, I know I can see it, so I know it's at L3, right?
Yeah.
But if I don't take X-rays and I do a physical exam, and all I'm doing is just relying on tactile, which is just me touching, right? Then I can assume it's at L3. I could probably be guessing between L3 and L4, but I'm only going based off of what I feel, not necessarily off of what I see. Okay. So, bring this down a little bit. There we go. All right. A lot of times what we do is we always try to feel for just a little bit of like tension or like muscle imbalances that may be going on in the spine, right? And usually what we feel it at, and don't be alarmed if you hear a noise, all right? We're not breaking anything, okay? And she's used to this by now. So usually I always tell my patients, I'll say relax their head, and they'll just relax just like that. And then we contact here, and the more they relax, you listen closely enough. There we go. There we go.
So always explain the little pops and cracks that you hear on Facebook and just whatever. That's air being released from the joint. It's not the actual bone cracking. I think I say probably 100 times a day, like don't get addicted to crack. Because a lot of time we're feeling for movement.
People
we're
should
feeling
not
for,
get addicted to the
you know
crack.
what I mean? So yeah, like some people are like, did it move?
Oh, yeah.
Because it didn't make a noise, right? You're getting
There
addicted
you
to
go.
that. You think that if it didn't make a noise, then we didn't do the adjustment. But that's not true. So probably more than 100 times a day.
You said what?
So I'd probably say more than 100 times a day.
All right. Take a deep breath. All the way up. There you go. Let's see, Sandy, she's like really tense today.
I don't know why you would be that way.
Yeah, I want you to turn with your left side up. Don't get stuck. There you go. So this is what we call a side posture adjustment. Right? And we do something like this typically with people who have like low back pain or hip issues, or even like that mid to low back area, right, where they feel a lot of tension at. For these particular type of adjustments, it's really just about finding where that misalignment is, and we try to go in and release it, right? A lot of people get a huge release from this type of adjustment, so it works for sure. Relax your body. And I'll do it on the side so y'all can see too. There we go. Turn up the side. So typically we'll come here. A lot of times we do a lot of palpating, so usually I can use my hands and my fingers, and I can sort of go down to where I need to be at, right? And for a lot of people, relaxing is like the biggest thing, because people don't like to relax, right? And it's hard to kind of give somebody that freedom to do what they will with you, right? And so it's a trust factor, right? Mm-hmm. So take a deep breath. All the way up. 1, 2. There we go. On your back. Now this part is.
Did you get your hair? Did you get your hair? No, okay.
Now this part is probably the most.
It's the scariest
part for a lot of people, right?
Shout out to Bruce Lee.
You're trusting somebody with your life source, essentially. Right, your head is in their hands, quite literally, right? And a lot of your life source comes through your neck, right? Because your brain has to send signals. Okay, a lot of people who experience neck pain, right? Typically, it's because of some type of muscle imbalance or subluxation in the spine itself. Those nerves have to flow through your neck. Okay, so the best way to get rid of it is by adjusting the cervical spine. All right. So the more you relax, the easier the adjustment is.
So he's doing one style of adjustment, which is manual. We have people in our office who don't like the noise, right? It's scary to them. So we use a tool called an activator that allows us to still move the bone, but you're not getting that big, noisy release. So a lot of times when it comes to the neck, they're like, do everything else manual, but use that activator on my neck. So, and we honor that. Is any of your hair caught?
That's good. Let's go down some. This part is usually for like a lot of people who come in and they have like mid back pain. You know, mid back pain can be something related to the posterior ribs, because our thoracic spine, the ribs actually attached to there, right? So this particular adjustment is more so of a rib adjustment, so it can open up those joints in the spine. Okay. So we have people cross their arms, come down in here.
You want to do it the other way?
Tell them to take a deep breath and let it all the way out. And there's like a huge, like.
Sandy's going to make us open up on Saturdays.
Typically, we'll do like a quick scan, see if everything kind of eases out, see how the patient feels.
And I always fix the hair. You got to.
Awesome.
Yeah. There you go.
So, and I'm gonna steal her mic.
Yeah.
So for anyone who's never gotten an adjustment, I was new to it, and they're right. Hearing the cracking and the popping and seeing it done is different. Thank you, sir. It's different approach to care, if you will, because a lot of doctors are hands off unless you need treatment. So that was something that I was concerned about, but definitely getting an education from these lovely experts here about what's going on, what the sound means, how to physically prepare yourself for the adjustment definitely, changes the game. And I don't know, did you guys get to hear any of the subligations? Am I saying it right? Subluxations. Anybody hear it?
Subluxations.
You guys know a little bit?
They were too far.
Oh, they were too far away?
We didn't put the mic on you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I probably should have held mine. You heard everything? Yeah. Yeah. I didn't feel any pain. I'm very comfortable, and as he was saying, it definitely takes a lot of trust, for them to kind of do those adjustments there. But I actually feel a whole lot better. I was dealing with low back pain, had issues sleeping, different things of that nature. And since I've been going, I don't even know how long I've been, all of those things have subsided. But I'm consistent with my care. I ask questions if there's anything happening. Like I fell down some stairs at one point. I'm okay. But the docs, they were like, no, we need the x-ray, make sure ain't nothing broken, so that they are always providing care that is specific to the need every time you come in. So
You did fall.
yeah, I did fall down the stairs, y'all. I missed a couple steps, and just like my backside, y'all, I was limping. Yeah, I know. No, everything was good. So, but these are great questions. Did anybody else have any questions
Yeah, those
for
are
the
good
doctors?
questions.
Those are good questions.
How do
Yeah.
you feel now compared to before you had that adjustment?
So I'm very relaxed. The doc felt the tension in my back, and because I know in order to go through this adjustment, I have to be relaxed. I think it just kind of helps set the tone. So I don't know if y'all saw when he did one of the moves, my arms just kind of felt, and that's the type of relaxation that I'm in now. But I feel great, y'all. I'm gonna go to bed now, so thank you guys for coming. I'm ready for a nap. Awesome, yeah. So definitely, and that was, like the main part, one of the main parts of, what I wanted to share with you all today. Not only do we talk about, spirituality and getting in alignment, I wanted to show you, and I'm so honored that you all were willing to step into this space and bring a little bit of your space into my space and really and truly show people and be patient enough to break down what exactly is happening and, how they could benefit from an adjustment. Yeah, I know I took
Thank
your
you.
mic.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And at all times, we try to make sure that, people are comfortable with this whole process.
Yeah.
We get quite a few who may come in, and it's, like I said, it's their first time, so they don't know what to expect. They don't know, they've heard of chiropractic before, they've heard of the quote unquote cracks. We don't like to use that word because we adjust you, right?
Yeah.
They do cracking down the street. All right. But go ahead, man. I know you got a question.
I just want to make one statement.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Let your viewers know, only let a professional do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That is yes, that part. So I will always tell patients who come in, if you wanna, we've seen it, we've all seen it, we've all gone through it. If you feel like you have to self-adjust yourself, or what people may say, crack my own neck, don't do it. There's a lot of risks, obviously, with anything that we do, right? But it's more safer if you let a professional do it, who's been trained, right? And I'll be totally transparent, right? And I tell this to some patients, not everybody, but I say, look, I was a guy who he was about 22 years old. He adjusted himself, and he suffered a stroke, right? But why, right? Him doing that on himself, he didn't know exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
So then he rotated his neck probably the wrong way, and he did it in the wrong vector with too much force, and then he caused himself to have a stroke, right? Versus had he gone through the proper channels, went to a professional who probably would have seen warning signs, they probably could have told him, hey, you should not do this, right?
Yeah.
So there's just different things that we try to, warn people and kind of give them enough information, right? There's even people who come through, who may not be a candidate to get an adjustment in the neck, right? but we would know that because we've been trained for that. They may not know that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's always risks involved. Obviously, you know, we're fortunate enough we know when to catch it, how to catch it, and we know what to tell patients, you know, but we don't know if that person doesn't come to us.
Absolutely.
All right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
don't adjust yourself.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Don't do it.
All right.
Absolutely.
If you feel like you need to adjust yourself, don't do it. Just come and see us.
Yeah.
All right.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's something else I wanted to highlight while we still have a little bit of time left. It's not only what happens at the appointments. You know, that's not the only part of care. You guys also, you know, have things that we have to do for homework. I'm not good at my homework. And you offer other different, I'm going to use the word supplements, but I'm sure I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
Home therapy kits.
Yeah, like home therapy. So what other things are you also, you know, educating your, you know, patients about, and things that they should be doing in addition to, you know, coming in and getting their adjustments?
All right, so like I said before, we're a corrective care office. So how we incorporate other services, we adjust, right? That's a big thing. That's removing those subluxations and interference. But that's not helping your muscles to learn proper posture. So we do a lot of muscle kind of rehab, and we do that through stretch and massage. And everybody and their mom, says they stretch, right? Yeah, me too. But when you have somebody doing passive stretching, it allows you to have more movement versus like we try to stretch ourselves. We feel that little bit of pain and then we stop, right? So massage and stretch are pretty much recommended to everyone. And as far as the homework, when we look at the neck or even the lower back, and you got a flat low back, so it's putting a lot of stress on these discs in the lower back, then we know that we need to rehydrate that back and restore the curve there. So we use posture pumps in the neck and in the lower back to help, you know, restore natural curve, hydrate disc space, helps patients hold those adjustments a lot longer. As far as the supplements, they're high quality, like they're pharmaceutical grade, but they are natural supplements that pretty much no matter how great your diet is, keto, gluten-free, veggie, like vegan, it doesn't matter. A lot of us are losing or not receiving all the nutrients we need. So our company was very intentional about choosing supplemental companies that have quality, right? And it's something that our bodies are able to actually absorb, not just kind of pee it out, right? I do love Target. I don't get my supplements from there, right? I want to make sure that my body's truly utilizing vitamin D, right? Because a lot of us are deficient in it. But if you're just taking something that's not a high quality, is your body truly absorbing that? So we educate in that way too.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of getting preachy here. And then of course x-rays, right? So we have pit stops in the care so that we're able to hold each other accountable, because this is a relationship. This isn't Dr. Sanders and I fixing Sandy. This is us addressing all the issues together and doing that. So
Absolutely. And I think it's phenomenal. When I say it's holistic, well-rounded care, it absolutely is that. And so for those of you who are interested in coming to visit the doctors, how can they find you all?
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Yelp. So on Instagram, it's 100 chiropractic _ Jacksonville. And then same thing with Facebook. You can always give us a call at 904-659-6664. Or you can, email us, Jacksonville@100% spelled out .doc.com. Okay, and we're always available to help whenever, wherever, except on Sundays.
Absolutely, yes. Yep, and for me, Oh, go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're located at 12675 Beach Boulevard, Jacksonville, Florida, 32246, Suite 302.
Absolutely. And the next event you guys have coming up?
Our grand opening birthday party. November 8th will be a year, so our baby is kind of walking, and just come celebrate with us. It'll be November 11th from 4 to 7 at the location. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And please be in the place, ask questions, celebrate with them, and get an adjustment, y'all. And of course, anything Sandy Durham related, you can find me at www.sandydurham-lmhc.com. Thank you guys yet again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See you later.
Are you in the market to buy new appliances or to buy new furniture or a computer, but you are concerned about prices? Prices nowadays are simply astronomical, and you need to be able to purchase it low but in a convenient way. Let me introduce you to the Maxwell Club. The Maxwell's Club will allow you to be able to purchase directly from the manufacturer. The price of Maxwell's Club is only $39.99 a year. You can shop with thousands upon thousands of manufacturers. Finally, you as the consumer have the power to purchase like some of the major companies. As a benefit of membership, you get discounts and perks around the world at places that you shop at. Sign up today. www.maxwells.club.
Are you having trouble reaching the masses? Are you preaching messages and no one seems to be hearing you? There's only a few people on your Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. Then you need the Maximizer by Chrome Media. For more information about this advanced internet connecting technology, contact us today and see how we can help you reach thousands every week within 7 days. No additional equipment is needed and no need for advanced training. Go to MaximizerNow.org or call us at 904-389-5592.
Are you looking for a state-of-the-art facility to have your latest conference or retirement party? Do you need a space that can accommodate small or medium-sized events? The HC Multicultural Center is the perfect place if you need to accommodate 20 to 150 people for an intimate celebration. Our facility has a cafe with a beautiful lobby with robust parking. We have a 15-foot LED wall and a digital sound system to accommodate for live recordings, not forgetting our sophisticated live stream, 4K, and 6K camera setup. If you need to accommodate 100 plus people for a large meeting, it is the perfect place for your multicultural event with a friendly staff waiting to serve your needs. When you want it done with class, do it with the HC Multicultural Center. You want to do a podcast, an actual video podcast, but don't have the equipment? Thought it would be impossible? Well, the impossible can become possible. Give us a call today. We can have your podcast on all of the major platforms in less than 3 days. Our staff